It's a nice reader, but there's nothing on the iPad I look at and say, oh, I wish Microsoft had done it. Music, even with these dial-up connections you have to the internet, is very practical to download. We have to find a way to make the aspects of capitalism that serve wealthier people serve poorer people as well. I have a nice office, I have a nice house, so I'm not denying myself some great things. I just don't happen to have expensive hobbies. Security guys break the Mac every single day. Every single day, they come out with a total exploit. Your machine can be taken over totally. We all sort of do want incentives for creative people to still exist at a certain level, you know. Maybe rock stars shouldn't make as much, who knows, but you want as much creativity to take place in the future as took place in the past. I remember thinking quite logically that I didn't want to spoil my children with wealth, and so that I would create a foundation, but not knowing exactly what it would focus on. A first-generation fortune is the most likely to be given away, but once a fortune is inherited, it's less likely that a very high percentage will go back to society. Innovation is a good thing. The human condition, put aside biotourism and a few footnotes, is improving because of innovation. Countries which receive aid do graduate within a generation. Korea went from being a big recipient to being a big aid donor. China used to get quite a bit of aid, now it's aid neutral. I'm sorry that we have to have a Washington presence. We thrived during our first 16 years without any of this. I never made a political visit to Washington and we had no people here. It wasn't on our radar screen. We were just making great software. Certainly I'll never be able to put myself in the situation that people growing up in the less developed countries are in. I've gotten a bit of a sense of it by being out there and meeting people and talking with them. Well, I think any author or musician is anxious to have legitimate sales of their products, partly so they're rewarded for their success, partly so they can go on and do new things. Until we're educating every kid in a fantastic way, until every inner city is cleaned up, there is no shortages of things to do. The trouble with energy farming is that the energy isn't always where you want to use it, and it isn't always when you want to use it. With Windows 8, Microsoft is trying to gain market share in what has been dominated by the iPad-type device, but a lot of those users are frustrated. They can't type, they can't create documents. In terms of mathematics textbooks, why can't you have the scale of a national market? Right now, we have a Texas textbook that's different from a California textbook. That's understanding science and pushing the boundaries of science is what makes me immensely satisfied. It is hard to overstate how valuable it is to have all the incredible tools that are used for human disease to study plants. The most impactful dollars that Australia can spend are actually what goes to help the poorest. Personally, I'd like to see more of our leaders take a technocratic approach to solving our biggest problems. Capitalism has shortfalls. It doesn't necessarily take care of the poor, and it underfunds innovation, so we have to offset that.